In this short video, we will define and configure a new repository file for use with CICS Content Delivery Server in this region, CICS PMF66. You can see in this row here all of the various repository data sets that are currently defined and configured. They are presented alphabetically, and there isn't one in here called POC, so let's try and create one called POC. So in my ISPF session here, I've pre-prepared a job that will define this new VSAM cluster. That's what it will be called. And we do little more than define it and then load it with a dummy record that comes out of this data set here. So if I submit that job, it should take a matter of seconds to complete. And if I now jump over to look at what we have to do about configuring it. So if we look into the starting messages for CICS PMF66, then we have this init palm here pointing at MF3 PLT00, which is the PLT program, and we're feeding that the name of its parameter file. So MF3 CICS PMF66.mf3 palm is the one we need to edit. So let's go and do so. And here it is. Okay, so there's a lot of parameters in here, but we're looking only to add some this new file to it. So we're going to need a new DD name for starters. Okay, so we could essentially just reproduce one of these lines here. And we have to put the name of the file, so in this case it's POC, has to be in the right case, and of course the name of it was that. Okay, so that's just a comment. But the other thing we have to do is to make that file available to the various servers. Okay, so here are the servers. And we need to make that file available to each of the servers that will need to access the file. And that's done with under the server parameter. There are subparameters, and we essentially have to add POC to each of them. So there's MF3 admin. There's another one called MF3 TCP/IP. We'll add it to that as well. Okay, there's another one called MF3 user. We want to make sure it's available to all the servers at this point. And there's another one called MF3 V32, and we'll add it to that as well. Okay, so that's all we should need to do to the parameter file, so we'll save it. Now then, there is an administrative transaction that can bring this into being dynamically, or you can wait for CICS to be restarted. But we're going to try and do it dynamically. So let's go to the CICS region. I've already logged on. Here you can see I'm using CEMT to inquire upon that file, MF3-POC, which is what it will be called. And I'm in CICS PMF66. It doesn't exist at the moment, but I'm going to bring it into being, hopefully, by running the administration refresh transaction for CICS Content Delivery Server, and that is MF3P. So it tells us that a refresh is starting, and hopefully, there it is, refresh is complete. So now hopefully if I look for that file again, MF3-POC, it's come into existence and it's been opened. This is very encouraging. So if we go back to our listing page and recycle that, hopefully POC will appear here. And it does. There it is. Now there's nothing in it at the moment. We know that. So we're going to try and add something into it. Now the way that we can do that, well, there's a number of ways, but I think that I've got a sample piece of application here from a different one. So here's just a little placeholder. I'm going to create a placeholder using the editor. So I've cut and pasted that, and we'll go to the editor in here. Here it is, and I'll just quickly paste that information into there. But now we need to tell the editor where to place it. And of course, we're now looking at the POC file. Oh, I should do this in lowercase. And we'll just call it placeholder.html. And that should be fine. We'll check it. It's not on file. So we should be able to save it. And it has been saved. So now if we go to that directory and ask it to show us all the records, there's placeholder as an application, and we can run it. So there we are. We've implemented a new repository, and we've quickly defined a placeholder application into it. That file is now generally available for use. And that's it for this short video. Thank you for listening.